Well, good morning. How are you all today? Welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I want to talk today about, you've heard the saying, right? Hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. Well, that's what I want to talk about because I think that there's a misunderstanding among many in the preparedness community, world, whatever you want to call it, concerning this. They think that those are two mutually exclusive properties, and they're not. I'm going to read you a couple of comments that I got and kind of use those to bounce my answer off and get into this. First, grab yourself something. I have something to show you. Grab yourself something to sip on, hopefully out of a Stonemont mug, because as I say, everything tastes better out of these. And yes, this is the new 2025 Mary Stonemont Christmas mug, now available to you. You know, Christmas is a big deal around here. We love Christmas, and to us, Christmas is it's a season. It starts pretty much around the 1st of November, and it goes until the middle of January because it's that important to us. And and these are now available to you on our website. You see it's Mary Stonemont Christmas. Right there's the date, 2025. Some of you have some of these from 23 and 24, although I didn't really announce these much last year. On the side, for unto you a child is born. You know what that refers to, right? That is Isaiah 9:6. It is the prophecy for the coming of Jesus Christ. You can now order these, have one of your very own, or have more if you would like, through our website, stonemont.us. They're available either as a single, a pair, or a 4-pack, because I know that you might want to buy some for friends or whatever, and they just came out beautifully. So let me take a sip of this, and then let's get at more stuff. Yes, I know I need a haircut, don't I? I'm going to try to get to that today after a dentist appointment. And if you're new to us, by the way, we have a lot of new people joining us here, and it's great to have you. You have probably joined because you are tired of all the doom and the gloom and the bad news and everybody trying to be a downer with you, and you've come over here because this is a preparedness channel where we approach preparedness from a positive aspect for a hopefully positive outcome, right? And so that's why you're here. That's why we're here. And every day, because I value my viewers so much, I chat for a few minutes. So for those people who want to come on here and just immediately hear somebody say, folks, it's horrible, everything's worse than it's ever been before. Well, no, I'm sorry that this is not that channel. So if that's what you're looking for, you won't have a hard time finding those channels. But it's good to have you here for those of you who want to deal with and approach preparedness from the proper position, which is one of responsibility and positivity, right? Oh yeah, you know something else. It's funny. Those of you who saw the thumbnail today, you'll see that it's kind of the same thumbnail that I used yesterday. You know, for the most part, and I'll tell you why I did this. Because whenever I don't edit, and whenever I shoot a video, I just sit here and talk to you, and then when you're uploading the video, and some of you with your own channels know this, YouTube gives you three separate pictures, potential thumbnail pictures, for you to choose from. It picks it, right? And it's always got me. Sometimes it picks decent ones, and sometimes it doesn't. And there's sometimes that I'm talking about horrible stuff, because I do talk about horrible stuff, but then I talk about, approaching it from a positive attitude. And the only ones that it shows me are me smiling, and it just seems incongruous to see me talking about and the collapse of this or that and everything, and I'm smiling, right? So I decided, and I don't like to, even though I have put up some thumbnails, with like the Escape from New York and things like that. I don't like to put up, these wild, pictures of people going, I don't like that. So anyway, I have chosen just a picture of me sitting down in front of the fireplace at the cabin down at the lake, and then I'll just put that up there and put the titles on different places. And so if you come on and you see me wearing something different, well, Steve, that's not what you were wearing in the thumbnail. That's right, because I'm just going to use the standard thumbnail for a while. Okay. All right. Let's get to this, and that is hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. I mean, you've heard that forever, right, in your life. And I think that a lot of people have forgotten the first part. Not a lot of people who are here, who have been here, or those of you who have joined us, but I know I'm talking to a lot of people who because when I look at comments on other channels, I just see, so much despair and oh, I mean, they don't want to live any longer. It's very sad. But so I want to get into this, and this was brought up by let's see here, okay, by a comment that I got the other day, and then I'll probably throw in a couple other things. And this was one, well, I guess it was just yesterday's. Prepare for things to get worse or not, right? Okay, or was it 2 days ago? I forget. I don't know. Not sure I put one up yesterday. So here's the comment. It's okay to be optimistic as long as you remember that belief is not knowledge and hope is not a plan. Okay, now, see, here's that sounds good on the surface, but I explained all of that during the video. So I don't know if they didn't watch the video and just want to, show how smart they are by repeating something that, has been repeated a million times. I don't know. But it shows that, it's how they say that anything that comes after comes before a but doesn't count, I really like such and such, but, right? Well, it's kind of the same with as long as. I'll repeat his. It's okay to be optimistic as long as you remember that belief is not knowledge and hope is not a plan. Well, let me talk about that for a moment. I'm just going to read you what I responded, okay? Because I think too often the conversations in preparedness is just an exchange of platitudes as opposed to really thinking about things, I think that's why my books are so popular, because I get into such detail about the thinking, the processes. Why do they do certain things? What's causing it? All that. How did they get to be so prepared? And how they got to be so prepared was thinking and hope and such. I'll read you my response to him. I said, I've addressed this numerous times in the past. While hope is not a plan, here's the part, because that is thrown around so much for people in the preparedness world who like to act like they're so knowledgeable that they're pessimistic. While hope is not a plan, it is the seed from which all else springs. Okay? If you don't have hope, you have no reason to get up in the morning. You have no reason to start. You have no reason to prepare. You see, the very act of preparing indicates that a person has hope. So this is one of the stupidest comments I think there is in prepperdom, and that is hope is not a plan. Well, hope is not a plan if you don't do anything else. I hope this works out all right. Okay, but hope is the important seed, as I said, from which all else springs. Then I continued and I said, and while belief may not always be the same as knowledge, though sometimes it is, the old saying, whether you believe you can or believe you can't, you're right, is often what makes the difference between those who succeed and those who don't. Right. That's the difference. That's really what makes the difference between those who are successful at anything, not just preparedness, but at anything. Whether it's building a business, whether it's continuing your education, whether it's going through some kind of training, whatever it is your hope for an outcome. And you can put in desire instead of hope. But there is a difference there. The Bible uses hope and desire differently. But you hope for an outcome, and you believe that you can do it. If you didn't believe you could do it, you wouldn't start. And that's what differentiates this audience from, I think, many audiences on other channels. That we have such an exceptional viewer base here, such an exceptional audience, an exceptional group of people who are can-do people. Can do, will do. Okay, those people who were at our gathering this last October. I don't know how many said to me individually that they were so pleased and surprised to find so many people who were so positive and were doers. We didn't have any complainers in the group. I mean, I did not meet, and we had some people that have gone through the same problems everybody else has in the world, right? I didn't hear a bit of complaint. There were no downers, there were no doomers, there were no anything. These were people, very accomplished people for the most part, who came together to be with other like-minded people. Excuse me. And so many people said that they were so impressed with the quality of the people at the gathering, at the Stonemont gathering. Well, that's what differentiates between those who, as a result of hope and belief that something can be done, and those who are essentially doom junkies and just want to hear all the bad news and don't believe anything can be done. You know, I had somebody ask also. They said, "Would you do a video on building a business, how to build a business?" You know, I've said so many times that the 3 M's of preparedness is make more money. To so many people in the preparedness world continue to hammer this thing about be able to do with less. Okay, well, you should be able to do with less, but that's a loser mentality. You should be able to make more. Your goal should be to improve the quality of your life each day. Now, many things go into that. You know, the quality of your spiritual life, the quality of your surrounding, your group of people, the quality of what you do in your life, the hope that you have in your life. Okay, and stuff. You know, stuff costs money. Make more money. Instead of following the negative advice of someone who says, well, you'd better get used to not having as much and be able to live with a lot less. How about you recognize that you are a child of God and that He wants you to have a good life? This is not the same as prosperity gospel. It is that you are responsible for supporting yourself and putting yourself in a position that you can help other people. Are you familiar with the parable of the Good Samaritan? Okay, the Good Samaritan wouldn't have been able to help that guy if he didn't have the means, the resources to do so. Right? That's what my books, the Stonemont series, are about. It's should I throw this in? I guess it's a good place as any. The Stonemont series is a series of my books. It's a story of a prepared family who, as a result of their preparedness, was not only able to continue living a high-quality life after the collapse of everything, but was able to help other people and start rebuilding society. Okay, I'll tell you how to get them in a couple of minutes, but I want to continue on this. That's the lesson of the Stonemont series. That's the lesson that we really preach here every day, and that is improve yourself. Improve yourself for your own benefit, for the benefit of those who rely on you, who depend on you, and so that you can help other people, right? Okay. So anyway, I had somebody ask that would you do a video on, business ideas for preppers? And I don't. If you've been with us, if you're new, I don't like the word prepper. We prefer PMP, which is it on the back of this? No, it's not on the back of that. PMP for preparedness-minded person. Okay, prepper does it. Well, I won't get into that, but really, she says, would you do a video on, starting and building a business? There are so many out there. I might, but here's the thing. And I've done some of those over on the Prepping for Prosperity channel. Whenever I do something about finance or economics, I get so many negative comments. And I think I'm about to answer my own question here. I get so many people that come on and make these idiotic comments about, well, it must be easy for you. No, it wasn't easy for me at all. It was a lot of hard ass work. Okay. Or, well, not everybody can do that. Well, you can't if you say you can't. This goes back to belief, right? Or, well, it's just I've tried and it just doesn't work. Well, try again. Okay? Difference between a winner and a loser is that a winner gets up one more time that they were knocked down. So yeah, I guess I'll do another one because that sounded pretty selfish on my part when it came out of my mouth that I'm not going to do it because, or I was thinking about not doing it because I just get too many people that just won't learn. But you know what? The world is, there's more people who refuse to learn in the world than those who really want to learn. Most people want to complain. That's the truth. That's the reality of life. But for the sake of those who do want to learn, yeah, I'll make another one on building, business ideas and how to do it. I'll do another one here pretty soon. Okay? All right. So when you look at, what you're building with your future, it goes back to that old saying, hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. Now, preparedness assumes the second part, right? Prepare for the worst. Even at that, I don't think a lot of so-called preppers get it. I don't think a lot of them are preparing for the worst. Certainly not the ones who are just complaining, right? But even the others, they are not preparing for the worst because they can't really imagine what the worst is. The average person in America or the Western world cannot imagine what the worst really is because people have a tendency to judge everything according to their own life experiences, right? And most people's life experiences just aren't that deep and wide. I get into this a lot. I'll tell you how to get. I get into this a lot. I talk about the horrible things in these books, but I also talk about the way to deal with them positively. The guy that wrote the foreword in the first couple of books said it's an unbelievably positive story about an unbelievably negative experience. It's the collapse of the whole world. And the family who, as a result of their preparedness, is able, I got to get a better way to hold these, is able to, like I say, continue living a high-quality life and making it through. It's 7 novels, sequential novels. I put the first one out in 2017. When people said, well, how do I, I ought to tell you this too. I say this. I got a comment the other day because I was wearing a cap for my son's football team. And if you're new to us, you have to put up with some of these personal stories because I'm just visiting with, and they all have a point. I was wearing the cap for my son's football team. And a comment came on. First thing I saw was a football hat. I played football for 14 years, Division I, and then I was this and that, and he put several things he did in the Army, right? And the last thing that I want to do is take advice, preparedness advice from a football fan. And I thought, wow, man, this guy just made an entire judgment on me because of the cap that I wore. I guess if you don't wear camo or some kill them all and let God sort them out type of thing, I guess you must not know what you're talking about, right? We see that a lot. You'd be surprised how many comments I get like that on that, right? But anyway, the first one came out in 2017. People ask me, well, how do you know how to, why should I listen to you? Well, I've written 7 books on it. Okay, so you might. The way to get them, you'll love the story. First off, you will learn more than you can shake 9 bundles of sticks at. And I say that because I've had so many people tell me that they've read through the whole series 5 times. First off, because they love the story. They love the world that the story creates. And they've missed so many lessons the first 4 times through because they were so caught up in the story. So that's what it is. You can get them a couple of different ways. If you haven't read them, I would suggest this be the next thing you do. Or if you have a friend who needs to be introduced to preparedness, you might buy it from them. You can get it a couple of different ways through Amazon. That link is down below. Or you can get them a better way, and that is through me, through our website, stonemont.us. And when you do that, I sign each one for you, and I write a note in each one for you. And you can buy the whole set through our website. You can't do that through Amazon. You can buy the whole set through our website. And you get a bit of a discount because we save money in shipping and things like that when we do it that way. And I toss in the Stonemont notebook freebie from me to you. So when we talk about the worst that can happen, first off, most people aren't. Secondly, most people can't because they don't really know. They don't think about it. They can't visualize the absolute worst that can happen. Therefore, they're not able to go that far. But the doomers completely disregard the first part, and that is hope for the best. And what does that hope do? It is a lazy kind of hope that you just sit around it. Well, I hope it doesn't happen, or I hope things get better. No. It is the active hope that you will be able to, with the help of the good Lord, will be able to sustain yourself through whatever problems. You hope that your preparedness will be able to see you through the catastrophes that may come along, and that you hope for a better day in the future. Or a good day. Maybe you're living a great life. I would love just to continue the life I'm living. Right? So I just hope to be able to live this life. I don't need a better life than this, to be honest. You know, that makes a lot of people mad. It really does. I get people, when I say things like that, they say, well, it must, I said this before. Well, that must be nice. It's easy for you. Well, God's blessed me. He trimmed me with a chainsaw for years to get rid of all my idiocy. And then when I finally, I'll just say God blessed me. Okay. So those are the 2 important parts of preparedness. Sure, prepare for the worst, but the first part, hope for the best. Because without hope, you have nothing. You have no starting point. And like I said in my response to that guy, hope is the seed from which everything else grows. If you don't have it, you have nothing. But I know you all have it. So think about that. Now, what do you hope for? What kind of life, if everything goes sideways, what kind of life do you hope for? Now, many of you who have read the Stonemont series say, I hope for a Stonemont. Good. Build your own Stonemont. You can. Anybody can. Anybody can. It's all a matter of the choices that you make, right? And I know some of you out there have your own Stonemont. But do you have a Stonemont Christmas mug? Okay, well, I'll leave it there for now. Again, these are now available. You can find them on our website. Merry Stonemont Christmas from those of us at Stonemont to those of you out there. And website, stonemont.us. So as you go about your day to day, think about what do you hope for and what are you doing about it, okay? Prepare for the worst so that you can live the best. Y'all have a good day. Remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. And I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.